Good morning, everybody. Today's Wednesday, April 21st, and we're going to toss it right over to Elliot and our very special guest for some important information.
Thank you, Bria. Hello, we're here with a very special guest, Senator Holland. We're going to start with you, ask you some questions, if that's all right.
That's
Um,
thanks for inviting me.
of course, thank you for being on here. So, the first question, this is the most important question. What is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Whew, I tell you, I worked at Baskin Robbins in the late '70s, and just their chocolate ice cream, a scoop of chocolate with a scoop of orange sherbet. You just mash them together. It's as good as it gets.
Chocolate and orange sherbet. Oh, I'll have to try that next time I'm at a Baskin Robbins. That sounds actually pretty good. It doesn't sound like would be that good, but I think that would actually be pretty good.
Well, the chocolate's really dark and bittery. The orange really kind of helps cut it.
Okay, that makes sense. Makes sense. So I know that you've pretty recently became a senator. So what made you want to become a senator?
You know, I was 58 years old. I had never thought about running for public office before. I starting, within 10 years of retiring, and I could have kept my mouth shut and kept my head down and just worked for another 10 years and drifted off into retirement. But I am a conservative Republican, and I've been tracking what was happening in the Alaska legislature. And I really wasn't really fond of how the conservative Republicans were being treated. I thought it wasn't really about the PFD. It wasn't really about an issue. I thought that the Alaska Senate and the House were just having real management problems, and I wanted to get involved.
That's very cool. So now that you are involved, how have your first 6 months been, and as a senator, and how do you like your new nameplate?
It is like sipping from a fire hose. It's nothing I've done before. For anybody who's interested, I'm a field biologist. I ran airboats in South Louisiana in the '90s and before and after that. We did environmental marsh work, very dirty work, up to my armpits in muck and mud sometimes. And I worked in a lab up here in Alaska for the last dozen years or so called metrology, the study of weights and measures. This is totally different. You really got to get used to. That was the hardest thing to get used to, the slow pace of government. Um, and uh, and I was really frustrated for the first month because I just wanted, we got to get this done. We got to do something. But and then the nameplates, actually, so they asked me, I'm chairing education. I've been doing that since the first day. And just Monday, I hung the judiciary chair plate on my door. And I was even surprised. I didn't even think about that. They asked me to chair judiciary for a couple of weeks. And I came into the office one day and I see all the workmen out there screwing the judiciary plate to my door. I'm thinking, oh man, that's right. And it's like, it's weird.
Yeah, that definitely be interesting. Just have people just come up there and just like change your title for a couple of weeks. That'd be weird if that happened, for teachers and other jobs. It doesn't really happen. So
It's weird to see your name on the door. It's
yeah,
weird, and so I still chair education. I enjoyed the education committee. I saw it as a real challenge when I first came on board, and I think we've done really great work in it. But I'll be honest with you, education's not my wheelhouse. It's not my specialty, and I have really great staff surrounding me, helping me look good.
that's very good. So you did say, education committee chair, very important. So we had Senator Begich on last week talking about Senate Bill 111, and you said it was pretty recently went through your office. So what were you thinking about that, and how's that looking?
We've been working. So I'm a really conservative Republican. Senator Begich is not quite such a conservative Democrat. And I really enjoy working with Senator Begich. It's, it's been a lot of very interesting. And Senate Bill 111, I'll just talk a little bit about it. I think Senate Bill 111, we have a lot of challenges in Alaska on getting our performance up. And we think Senate Bill 111 will go a long way to fixing these things. I like to think, people ask me, what's my legacy? What are my legacy to be in my Senate term? If I can be, 15, 20 years from now, looking back on my time in the Senate and seeing that at this time from like 2022, 23, 24, 25, if we can just see education kind of on the uprise, and maybe part of that being what we've done with Senate Bill 111, that would be a fine legacy for me. I'd appreciate that.
That's very nice. Yeah, that'd definitely be cool. Improve education. I think that's something we all look forward to. So it wouldn't be a bad legacy at all for that. Um, and now we have one more question for you. So we saw your last name Holland. I don't know if you know the actor Tom Holland. He plays a lot of Spider-Man movies. We're wondering how often you get confused with Tom Holland.
Now that's going to have to. I know Tobey Maguire is the Spider-Man guy. Tom Holland, is he the one who does the like the latest edition
Yeah.
of Spider-Man? And no, I don't get that a lot. I don't get confused with Tom Holland a lot.
Okay.
People ask me if I'm all associated with Holland Roofing in Anchorage, and know that is not a plug. I am not at all associated with Holland Roofing in Anchorage. But yeah, it really was amazing for me when I was a candidate and the first time somebody recognized me in public. I was at the car rental place here in Juneau getting a rental car, and I didn't even say my name, but the guy standing next to me, he looked at me and says, "Are you Roger Holland?" I said, "Are you stalking me?" And he had just heard me on the radio one morning, and he picked up on my voice, and he identified me there on the spot. And it's actually, so the other day, it's the first time I was mistaken for not being me. I had a lady walk up to me as we're walking out of church, and she walked up and she introduced herself, and I took my mask off to say hi, and then she kind of said, "Oh," and she walked away. And she looked back and said, "I thought you were Roger Holland." And I said, wait, I am Roger Holland.
That's funny. Yeah, you would think you'd be, recognized as someone else, but not. That's weird. Yeah, being recognized not you, but you were. Yeah.
Yeah. So she came back and we talked a little bit of politics, but it's like, it's kind of weird. It gets weird when people start knowing who you are in public.
That's funny. With that, do you have anything else you'd like to talk about today?
Well, I'll tell you, I was going to mention so we do this science and technology thing, and I think it's going to be Friday. We had a 1 hour interview with Dr. Chris Mattman with the Jet Propulsion Laboratories down in Pasadena, and this goes into, there's so many aerospace things being done in Alaska right now. They're doing drones up in Fairbanks. We have the Kodiak Aerospace Facility. There's so much high-tech stuff. They're doing cube satellites up in Fairbanks as well. And so we had Chris Mattman come on board, and I did an hour with them. And it was just like two nerds, and we just talked about the Perseverance rover and the Ingenuity helicopter for an hour. And it was the funnest hour I've had in a long time. And so the Ingenuity actually took off. It did a short flight a couple of days ago, and we're going to have him back on Friday. And so if you get a chance to tune into us on Facebook, we'll do that. It's just fun. It's interesting to think that there's this little helicopter out there flying around Mars, And besides that, I tell people all the time, I'm kind of hesitant to do this because I know it could be a problem. If anybody's got any political questions, I have a high-tech creeper here, and there's my cell phone number. And you can go home and you say, "Mom, Dad, guess what? I got the senator's cell phone number." And if they don't believe you, send me a text or something like that. And they'll say, "No, it's like you just had Seth or somebody send me a text back. This isn't really him." But I think it's important for me as a senator to be accessible and to be willing to listen. And especially now, if someone's got a concern about education or judiciary in Alaska, I'd love to hear from it. But I really enjoy the job. It's a big challenge.
All right. Well, thank you so much for answering all of our questions. I'll definitely be sure to send you some texts. You might regret giving me your phone number, but hey, we'll see. With that, Dr. Johnson, do you have any updates for us?
A couple updates. One is I'll just say thank you, Senator Holland, for joining this group this morning. They're a great group. And for all of you, some of you, so Senator Holland's a freshman legislator this year. Some of you have just recently been freshmen. Some of you will become freshmen very shortly next fall. And I think he's been a great example of how to be a great freshman. He has not let ideology keep him from forming friendships and relationships. Like he said, he's worked closely with Senator Begich, though they have different ideas about many things. That relationship's based on character, not necessarily agreeing on everything. And then also, he didn't just sit back and let his freshman year go by. He stepped up to the plate. He's done a great job leading the education committee in terms of chairing the meeting and keeping those going. So when you're a freshman, do like he's done, step up, lean in, lead. Don't wait for the year to go by, because there's still a lot of that you can do as your freshman year. Updates, there's been a couple of outbreaks this last week in a couple of schools, not big, but it just reminds us that we still have to be careful. Wear a mask when you need to, wash your hands, do all those things. So hopefully we can get through the rest of the school year without having to close down because of cases and keep everybody in school. All right, let's talk this day in history, because apparently you're ready. So this last week, lots of things, well, last week and some of this week, lots of, big things have happened. The revolution started. Earth Day is tomorrow. Shakespeare was born. The Library of Congress was formed. Lots of, little things like that. But what really big thing happened about 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago. I know Tiananmen Square happened today, and I know it's also the Queen's birthday today. So we did do some research. 2 weeks ago. Does anybody else on the Zoom know? I'll use my phone a friend. No? All right. What happened 2 weeks ago?
You said you were going to know today.
Hey,
well, about 2 weeks ago, it was the Unger twins' birthday. So that's bigger than everything else. And it's a great time to congratulate Clara on getting a scholarship about a week ago, I think, in history, at, I think, the Walter Williams Scholarship, I heard. And then I heard Ben's got a college he's going to, Grace, Bria. So just congratulations to everybody. I know this is a big time in your history as you make plans. And yep, there's Clara's certificate. So congratulations to all of you. Really proud of you.
Yes, we are definitely very proud of everyone in this room. So with that, I'm going to give it to Mr. Claymeyer. Do you have any updates for us?
Good morning. Yeah, things are busy as usual, and I'm excited today. I get to take my first trip as NEA Alaska president to visit a school site. I'm going to Utqiagvik later on today, and I'm going to be there for the rest of the week to talk to members and the superintendent up there. And I've made one school visit, but that was here in Anchorage, and so that was easy. I went to a friend's classroom, actually a friend's library. So that was fun to get out for the first time in a year and see kids and see all the protocols firsthand and that sort of thing. I really miss being in the classroom. And so going up to Utqiagvik will be fun as well. But thank you, Senator Holland, for being here. I want to add on to what Commissioner Johnson said, that it's been a pleasure working with Senator Holland. He is sort of I'm a social studies teacher, and so my ideal of a citizen legislator, right? You talk about professional government officials, or sort of lifetime member, and then sort of the Roman ideal of being a citizen legislator. And he's exactly that, and he's demonstrated that to you already, giving you his phone number, wanting to be accessed, and that's the way he's worked on Senate Bill 111, and reaching out to education stakeholders and getting constituents' viewpoints, and in the hopes of finding something that works for everybody, so that we all can move together, forward together. And that, to me, that's good government. So thank you very much, Senator Holland, for that. There are a couple other bills of interest that are moving forward as well. There's a retirement incentive, SB 6, that has gained a lot of attention from our members. I don't know that it's gained a lot of traction in the legislature, but it's gained a lot of attention. I find it's ironically named because it's a retirement incentive program. So it's RIP. I feel like we're putting teachers that are going away, but not maybe in the best way. I don't know if it's named well, or ironically named anyways. And then the one that I'm really interested in right now, and I think I'm going to get the number wrong. It's House Bill 169 or 167, starting to look at what really matters and what really drives what's going on in the state is the budget. And this bill in particular is to early fund the education portion of the budget so that we avoid the financial insecurity that is caused by school calendar schedules, and then there's the actual calendar, right? School doesn't start when the school year or when the calendar year starts, and then you roll into that if you guys know about fiscal years, and that's another weird thing. And then the legislature, their calendar, none of them mesh. And so what often happens is in talking about budgets in the legislature, it doesn't get done till the end of session. The problem is school districts are making decisions for next year in terms of their hiring. And if the budget's not set, then they end up having to plan based on essentially last year's numbers. And then with inflation and all those sorts of things, they end up having to lay off a bunch of employees, some of them teachers, some of them maybe principals or bus drivers, or all the people that are needed to run a school. And so they lay them off, and then the legislature gets to the budget, and they work really hard and hopefully solve those issues and then provide that funding. And then the school districts have to scramble during the summer or next fall to rehire everybody so that when you guys show up in mid-August, schools are ready to go. And some of those people will have left the state or gotten jobs in other careers, or and so it makes it really difficult for school districts. It makes it difficult for employees. And so I'm really excited about the prospect. I hope it goes through in the legislature to early fund education to whatever level that's going to be, so school districts can plan and provide that stability, and we can keep our best employees. So anyways, that's my view from my porthole this week.
I appreciate it. It is interesting to know all the different bills. I want to say thank you to Dr. Johnson, and thank you to Mr. Claymeyer for coming on like you guys do every week. We greatly appreciate that. And of course, Senator Holland, I want to say huge thanks for you to coming on and informing us, how to be a successful freshman, as they put it. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Bria.
Thank you, Elliot, and our wonderful Zoom crew, and a special thanks to Senator Holland for all his time and dedication. And that's all we have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to tune into our other live show at noon, and as always, send any questions to asktheden.org, and have a great Wednesday.